Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our ace co-host. Back east, handling all the producing duties today, it's Chris. What's up, guys?
What up? How's your morning so far?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad, yeah.
Have
It's
you ever-
Friday. That's key.
Yeah. Have you ever woken up in a bad mood and you have no reason why?
Yeah, just because
you're just grumpy?
No, just because I realized that I wish I had more sleep. Simple as that. And I start thinking, God damn, why did I go to bed so late last night?
Huh.
Which
But
last night
that's
wasn't
the
too
reason,
bad,
though.
but the night before I think was 3 a.m.
3 a.m.?
Yeah. And
But you're up before I am when I get downstairs.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if you wake up before me, but I know you're already downstairs doing your stuff when I... What time do you actually get up out of bed?
I would say between 6 and 7. Sometimes just 6:15. I'm up. Oh,
That's
okay.
like no sleep.
I know, man. What do you think? I'm stressed, fat, dumb,
Well,
forgetful?
I'm kind of wondering how you survive. I mean, eventually you have to sleep.
Right. Well, that's why you see me nodding off after lunch once the dog jumps on my lap and I just kind of hang back. The archive's been loaded, whatever. I kind of get back to people, do a little bit of social media, then boom, I can be wiped out for a bit. So I not that I make much up there, but then I'll have a run goes of about 7 hours, maybe 6 hours, good night, but I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah. Why, did you wake up in a bad mood or something?
I did. I woke up in a really bad mood, but I really have no reason to be in a bad mood. And then as my day progressed, it started to get better. And then Chris, our producer, I was talking to him. We were talking about...
Is he a nice guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about losing weight. Well, if he wasn't, though, would I really say it? Would I be like, nah, he's a dick? But we were talking about losing weight, right? Because I went to Ulysses Gomez's thing last night, and I'm walking around
Is
like
that why you were so wiped out? I kept sending you messages. Ben Rothwell
Oh, yeah,
was sending
I
you
went-
messages, and you weren't chiming in or nothing.
I didn't even see them until the morning.
Mhm.
And I was Frankenstein walking around everywhere, right? Because Yuli's taking it up a notch this year.
Uh-huh.
And so he was telling me about what he was doing. He's doing hey Chris, so tell George about DDP yoga. You won't believe how much this dude's lost.
Well, to paint a picture, I started my weight loss at my heaviest, which was 385. I was a fat mother, you know what. And I tried a lot of weight loss options, and then I lost 10 pounds here and there, and I just couldn't keep losing weight. So a buddy of mine pointed me to DDP Yoga, and being a fan of pro wrestling, I knew who DDP was and what the work he's done. I saw a lot of promotional videos of people who couldn't walk anymore and start doing his yoga program, and all of a sudden now they're running around again. So that was really awesome. I tried it. I had really bad knees, really bad back, and I couldn't lose the weight. So I tried doing DDP Yoga along with a diet which consisted of mostly salad and soup and just not eating a lot of junk food and just moving more. And I lost over 100 pounds. I am now at 283 last time I weighed myself.
Congrats.
So I lost over 100 pounds doing DDP yoga.
Crazy, right?
Well, I think Sam All Jam does DDP yoga, right?
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
I think so. And one other person I've heard it from has done it with success. And I think, Chris, chime in if I'm wrong here. I think DDP did it because it was more of a yoga that was based around. He wanted to be like looser and have more, dexterity and flexibility. So it was built around injured athletes and people, right? But
Correct.
But at the same time, obviously, yoga. I mean, I've done it, and when I've gone there, I've noticed how if I was thinner, I'd be able to do more of the poses, so I could see how this could work with people that are fluffier as well.
Yeah. So how, I don't know if you know, but I'm the hunchback of Southern California, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been working on that with Ulysses, and it's gotten a lot better. But the one thing I want to work on are my legs, because I'm very flexible one way, but the other way, nothing.
Really?
Yeah. So I might look into the DDP yoga.
All right.
Why not try something different?
Yeah.
Can't recommend it enough.
Chris, your voice is familiar. Do you work with Luke Thomas?
I do. I normally do a show every day, 4 to 6 p.m. right here on Sirius XM Rush.
Okay, yeah, because when Goes and I are done, on the way home, I'll always start off on Rush, see what's there. Sometimes I'll float away if it's a segment I'm not into or there's a commercial or whatever, but I'm always trying to support the channel, so I was positive I had heard your voice before, and usually it's either RJ or Steve if I can get out of here in time on Thursdays and Fridays, and if not, then I'm catching Luke on the way home. There you go. All right. Well, it's Friday. There's not really too many events to point to this weekend. So what are you going to do? Well, first of all, what are you going to do, guys? As far as MMA is concerned, just chillax, get away from it a little bit, or are you going to support any of the regional promotions and, always give them a look-see, or what's the deal?
I think I'm going to try and get away from it a little bit. It's hard to disconnect, but, we have to go back to California. We have a wedding that we have to do. So, yeah, I think I'm going to try and get away from it.
There's not even an LFA or nothing. You literally have to go into Sure Dog, see what kind of events they got lined up, and there's maybe an M1 or a jungle fight. Or
it was supposed to work out for me because my team was supposed to be in the playoffs, and my answer was going to be watching the Redskins, George. But that didn't work out. And my college basketball team is awful.
What's their record?
It's actually not that bad. It's still positive, but compared to what they normally are, it's pretty bad.
Well, what is it? Do you know it or no?
I don't know it. I know it in
Are you guys 500?
conference. No, we're over 500.
Okay.
Yeah, but, I mean, you can just tell that we're not going to be good.
Today we're going to be talking to Todd Duffee, UFC heavyweight, back in action on March 4th against Mark Godbeer. That event is here in Las Vegas. It's UFC 209. What am I thinking? UFC 209. So we'll talk to him, catch up with him.
Duffman.
Exactly. He's a character, man. It's just so hard to really get behind for a lot of fans because he's had these lulls in activity with injuries, and for a while he disconnected with the UFC, got in some trouble, who knows what. But I mean that's going back quite a few years. His last fight was Frank Mir, and it was over a year and a half ago.
He's been through a lot, man.
Right. It was a pretty brutal KO. He also had the nerve damage through the shoulder.
His father,
yeah. So, we're anxious to see where he's at. Now he's no longer that prospect that we kind of came to know, He's 31 years old. He's 31 years old, so he needs to get things going. Mark Godbeer will be his opponent at UFC 209. That card is starting to come together. It's got Alistair Overeem and Mark Hunt. It's got Mirsad Bektik versus Darren Elkins. The aforementioned Duffee and Godbeer matchup. Lando Venata's back in action. He's taking on David Timur. Paul Craig versus Tyson Pedro. Craig and Pedro are undefeated, so don't roll your eyes at that matchup just yet. The winner could be, the next big deal in our sport. Who knows? So we'll talk to him. Now he's in the second hour. He got rerouted. He was going to be in the first hour. We moved him. It conflicted with some training that he had. So he'll move to 2:45 p.m. Eastern time. He'll be our last guest of the day and of the week. Right before him is Justin Ledet, another UFC heavyweight. He'll come on at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So back to back. Prior to that, it's all about you, Junkie Nation. Light up those phones at 866-522-2846. We'd love to hear from you. Chime in on anything you want. We're still, believe it or not, to this day, I'm still hearing Ronda Rousey talk, whether it's on mainstream media whether it's the MMA media or just talking to goes at home, it's not done because we still want to know what's next. I guess every day it kind of changes. You hear some reports here or there. I believe I'm leaning towards I just don't think we'll see her fight again, but you just never know, not only in this sport but in sports in general.
Do you think she's pretty good at saving her money?
Sounds like it, yeah. You don't really see her like
she's not in a Bentley or anything
right,
like
exactly.
That.
Although
stuff.
that house, I had heard she bought $1 million home in Venice, and $1 million home in Venice doesn't get you much because that's prime real estate. So I heard it was modest living, but you did have to shell out the money. She lived there, but then when she did the what was it, the countdown or those promos?
Yeah,
it looked like something maybe overlooking Hollywood. That's Bel Air. Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, I don't know, all that stuff. Is that her pad? Is that her actual pad, or did they just use it to film?
There's a couple houses that are like that they use to film it because I've seen it before on one of the boxing 24/7s or something like that.
Right.
They use these houses every now and again to film scenes like that. I don't know if it's hers, but I'll tell you that house that they showed is probably way more than $1 million.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, so my point is, I don't think she's extravagant, in her lifestyle, her clothing, her car. I don't know. All I know is TMZ will go, "Hey, Rhonda." It's always a stoner.
Yeah.
"Hey, man, so what's next for you?" And it always looks like she's walking a boardwalk. That's why I believe she still lives in Venice. She'll have her Starbucks in hand. She's usually walking her dog or with Travis or whatever. And I just think that was like a prop, we'll say. The big home. If that is her home, then the spending has commenced. That's got to be a $5 to $10 million home.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I don't think that's her home. So I think she is fine with the money. And she doesn't strike me as a person who would blow through all that cash like other athletes have done in the past, where
that's where
they had 100 to 500 million in the bank, and at some point they're going, "Hey, man, I'm declaring bankruptcy."
Well, because the guy that comes to mind for me is Floyd Mayweather. He made a lot, but he spends a lot. And if he ever comes back to fight, I would imagine it's because he spent a lot. Because he already accomplished a lot in the sport, as has Ronda. I don't think how do you think it sits with Ronda? Do you think she looks back and says, "I was a failure, I accomplished a lot"? Because she seems like the type to me that focuses a little bit more on the negative. And so I think it really does sting her. But I don't know. I feel like she could just go away, and I don't feel like she's going to come back because she needs money. If she comes back, it's because she has a hunger to kind of avenge what happened. And in order to do that, she's got to go through a lot, George. A lot. Like just the basics that we talked about, right? Improve that wrestling. That doesn't happen overnight. And you can't learn on the job in the UFC. So we're talking she needs to invest 2 years of her life or something.
Well, I believe she's a poor loser. But once you get past poor loser, there's poor losers that are so she's competitive, but she's a terrible loser. When you're a terrible loser and you're competitive, you do one of two things. You go back and you give yourself an honest look. You don't have to tell the media you're doing this or your fans you're doing this. Damn, like she's way better than me in the striking department. You don't have to do all that, but you have to come to a realization yourself with the people you trust. All right, that's a bad strategy. Let's fix it and come back because I want to prove to everyone I'm the best. And then there's others that are blinded and they feel like that other person got lucky or they just didn't get a chance to implement their game plan, because once they implement their game plan, there's no stopping them, blah, blah, blah. That's why you see those mostly in the NFL. Since that's such a popular sport, we'll use that as an example. Coaches just have this lifespan. And then after a while, you start losing your coordinators or whatever. You lose the touch that you have on the game. Whether you're a running team and then all of a sudden the defenses catch up to you, or you're a passing team and the defenses catch up to you. If you don't evolve, that's it. And you'll see these coaches that have these runs, and then after that, they hang on, sometimes out of respect. Oh, yeah, we got us all those championships. And then there's other times where they just don't do it. I heard that from Bill Walsh. He led the Niners to 4 Super Bowls in the 80s in one decade. And he said it himself. He goes, I could tell that at that 10-year mark, he goes, I was burnt out, and I also knew that I needed to either take time, pull away, and refresh because they were catching up, I guess, to the West Coast offense. So, again, however she chooses to deal with it, if she can admit that she needs to work on stuff, she can definitely be back because she's got the youth, she's got the drive. You saw, man.
But anybody that's ever competed in an Olympics, that shit starts when you're young. And your body's going through hell to get to that point.
Okay,
right?
well, yeah.
She may not have the
wear
youth.
and tear. She may not have to match the youth.
But can I add a third option?
Sure.
A third option in the scenario is when somebody's in this scenario, the blame game. They blame someone else. It wasn't me. It was that stupid camp I was put in. Or it was that dumb game plan.
Well, it has to be you too, though, because you accepted that camp's decisions.
She doesn't strike me as someone who's going to do that, though.
No, I've heard that before, and I say, well, yeah, but you authorized the camp. You let them guide you. You're not. They don't brainwash you either. You're part of the decision making. You trust them. I get that, but when you come to the realization, and you know what? Honestly, if she were to sit down with Edmund and say, "Hey, we did a lot. Smile at each other, respect each other, hug it out, whatever. But I got to check this other location out. I got to look out for me." I think it can still be handled that way. Because,
why not?
Because she won a world title with Edmund. So it's not like things were wrong. It was working. It just didn't. The evolving didn't continue. Others were sitting there watching, going, "Okay, I can't do that. I can't clinch with her. I can't go to the ground." Going back to Misha Tate, who took her to do this, do that. Misha, and she said, "Well, you know what? We all that she wound up getting out of some certain submission holes, and then she did it again. Maybe do it once." But where you're having some success, attack, Yeah. So this is something that literally we could have been talking about years ago. We also talked about Kat Zingano. She never even got a chance to do anything. She ran into Ronda, and the next thing you know, they're tussling on the ground, and it was all over. But I thought Kat kind of has that type of game where she can strike, she can grapple, but she needs to settle in. This honestly could have happened years ago, but Ronda, it all worked out for her. She rose to the occasion, took advantage of the mistakes others were making, but again, didn't continue to evolve.
I don't see any shame in switching camps or going somewhere. There's fighters that are successful and do that, and they do it because they say, "Hey, you got to stay fresh. You got to get fresh looks. You can't get comfortable." There's other fighters like Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler made that switch, and look what it did for his career.
Right, and he left a great camp in the Miletich camp and a great trainer in Pat Miletich. By then, before he even went to American Top Team, he was already with the Hit Squad. Remember Hughes? Yeah. And what was his coach's name? Pena, the other guy? I think it was Pena. Matt.
Oh no, you're thinking of.
There was a Pena involved.
Oh, I was thinking of the wrestler. What? Oh my God.
Yeah, our buddy.
Yeah.
Our buddy. Oh boy, here we go. What was his name? We will not continue the show.
No.
We're not going to continue the show.
Can we look it up?
No, let's guess here.
Really?
We got till 10:22. We got 33 seconds.
Oh my God.
Mark?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Mark.
Oh no.
Not Lehman.
Not Goddard.
No, not Goddard either.
I spoke to Mark Lehman 2 days ago, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He says he's good.
Wow. Phone or text?
Just text, going back and forth.
He's in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
You know what's funny? There's a new audience that may actually be going, "Who's that?" Mark Lehman. Do you remember? I was going back and looking at some stuff. I wanted to ask Junkie Nation this. Are you guys enjoying the in-studio guests? Because I went back and I looked at the co-hosts that we've had, right? This is just in the last 90 days. For the full 2 hours, not in studios, because I could throw Max Holloway and Brian Butler in there, for example.
Okay.
They only hung out for about 45 minutes. I'm talking about committed to 2 hours of co-hosting. The last 3 months, 90 days, Ali Abdelaziz, the manager to Verdum and Habib and Edgar. Phil Baroni. Gaston Bolanos.
I know his name.
Brian Caraway. I know. I put our.
Oh, okay.
I stopped the time, so we didn't cheat. Brian Caraway, Michael Chandler, Randy Couture, Joey Diaz, Mike Dolce, Eric Del Fiero, Stitch Duran. Del Fiero, to be fair, stayed 90 minutes. I'll give him that, though. I'll still give him the co-host. He co-hosted. Stitch Duran, Jay Haran, Kevin Iole. No. Not Kevin Iole. Kevin Iole will be on next week. Martin Kampman, Kevin Lee, Pat Miletich, John Morgan, Eric Nixick, Mike Pyle, Dominique Robinson, Laura Sanko, Michael Chavello, Ryan Stoddard, and Joey Varner. So that's a good little list.
Yeah.
And I really like the co-hosts. I think everyone brings something to the table.
Different
the
opinions.
show can be hardcore, in-depth. The show can be lax. There's just many directions we can take it in. So I really do enjoy it. And I'd like to know your feedback on Facebook and YouTube if you really dig that. We will not take offense of any comment such as, yeah, we like it because we can't stand you two. Seriously, I really dig it when they're there. I was doing another project and I came across that. All right. Drifted off. Mark
Fiore.
Yeah, Mark Fiore. Yeah. We really needed to know that. All right, so Mark Fiore, that's the name. Mark Lehman's doing good.
Yeah, Mark's doing
All right.
good.
Going back, as I'm doing this list, I see Campman's name. Campman didn't want to do the show. Why? Because he says, is anyone going to know me? And it's true, dude. This sport just continues to move and move and move that there may have been some people that tuned in and said, who's that guy from Denmark?
You know who
Martin
talked him into
Kampman.
it?
Who's Jay Haran did, right?
Jay Haran talked him into it because he did it like a week before, and he goes, it's awesome. You sit down, you get to connect with your fans. He goes, hell yeah, people will remember you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was a fun list. And so I started compiling other names. I can tell you next week we're going to have as a co-host. I think John's going to return because he told me his schedule permits it. John Morgan, who was here yesterday. Goes, do you have an update on that name? The top?
No.
No.
Right now he's doing that thing.
Oh, okay. Ensign Inoue will co-host.
That's awesome.
Kevin Iole will co-host, and Brad Okamoto will co-host.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's going to be a fun week next week. Laura Sanko is going to be on the show. Felice Herrig is going to be on the show. But, yeah. All right, so where were we?
That's it.
That's it? We covered it all?
Yeah.
Mark Fiore, Martin Kampman. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, let's go to the calls then. I can't think of anything else. Jack from Seattle will start things off. What's up, Jack?
What's up, Goldfish? How's it going?
Good.
All
How are
right,
you?
Good, man. Good, man. I'm excited to hear all the the diet talk. It brings me back to 2010 and 2010, back in the day doing the water diet, and I think we should do it again.
I was tempted in the last couple days to start the water diet. Check this out, Jack. About, let me see here, 6 weeks ago, I looked at the scale and I go, fuck me, this sucks. And I knew that one thing that can always get me to shed weight is to just drink water. Eat what I want, but just start with drinking water, right? So I did it, and I started keeping track of my weight. And I'm looking right now in my notes to see where it was. Jack, without doing anything, walking the dog. This was cold days, rainy days. I forget what it was. I may have had a pull calf muscle. I don't remember what it was. But just off only drinking water, still eating what I wanted, I was able to lose like 5 or 6 pounds. Here it goes. On 11/23. Yeah, on 11/23. We'll start with 11/25 is the first day I weighed in the morning. And from there until 12/6, dropped almost 6 pounds. Now, if I screws on my diet, if you can do it, the first couple of days were rough, but then after that, I was enjoying good old H2O, man. I'm in if you're in.
I'm in. I'm down. I went to the doctor yesterday. I was 223, and my goal was 215. So let's do it.
And he's tall too, so yeah, that 215 will look good on you, buddy. All right, I'm in. So when do we start? Because I had a cup of coffee today. You want to start tomorrow?
Yeah, you start tomorrow. Let's do it.
Start tomorrow. All right, water only.
Again, it started?
It's starting.
Okay.
Yeah. I was able to last. Let me see, from the 23rd to the 6th. That's about. I made it to almost 2 weeks. You know what killed it? The flight.
What flight?
The flight to Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I gave myself a dumb pass. We were in Chicago, and I was sitting there with Stitch and Goes, and we were having a good laugh. And I said, let's just have some beers. Yeah, and we had some beers, and It was fun. I don't take it back, but still, man, I'm telling you, when you're focused, it works. What else on your mind, buddy?
I was listening to the show yesterday, and something that got brought up was the Michael Venom Page video about Ronda Rousey.
Right.
And how I've seen a lot of people upset about that video. And this is especially hits home for me. Like, when is it okay to make fun of somebody? Because it's okay to make fun of Brock Lesnar when he gets knocked out by Kane and does a little spin. And it's okay to make fun of Brendan Schaub when he gets beat up by Rothwell and starts grabbing at the air. But it's not okay to make fun of Ronda Rousey. To me, I think if it's there, it's the whole PC culture is like something I have to deal with a lot. Like, I have a really funny joke about Obama that doesn't work in the city. As soon as I leave the city, it works perfectly anywhere just regular people are. But I feel this uptightness, like, you should be able to make fun of Ronda Rousey. I mean, she's a public figure. She puts herself out there. She's very, aggressive and controversial, and she's an asshole. Which you see from Tough to this. And you should be able to make fun of her. She's a dick.
You know what I thought of, Jack?
All right, thank you,
Jack.
Jack.
When that happened, the first thing I thought of was, all right, who did it? It's Michael Venom Page, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the shoe were on the other foot and MVP got knocked out and someone did a video of him, he strikes me as a guy that would just go, all right, I guess I had a big mouth, but when we fight, I'm going to knock you out.
Right.
He doesn't seem like a guy that would go, I can't believe this guy did that about me or anything. So those type of people, I mean,
all right,
I don't really. I think why everybody's so sensitive on the whole thing is because of the comments that Ronda made after her loss to Holly, where she considered suicide. I think a lot of people are like, you can't pile onto a person that's been thinking that. But Ronda's not the first person that's ever thought that. She's probably one of the only ones in this community that's come out and said it.
Right.
Okay.
That is it for me a little bit.
Yeah. So what Jack is saying, like, I get it. I mean, if I'm her, I would think, well, I did say some things, I guess. This sucks. I didn't think I'd be in this position.
Right.
But all right. But she doesn't take it that way. She takes it as, I can't believe people are doing this or that. And that's just not the way life works, right?
Mm-hmm. And
is it the nicest thing?
And
no.
I'm old school, so I do tend to coddle the female a little bit more than the male. I think the male will just like, ha, you got, Whereas the female, with what Go said, yes. Here's how I felt. See, I'm a big MVP fan. A, because I think he's a fun fighter. He does our show. And we got the Manchester United connection. All right? So I knew that when this happened, obviously there would be a pile-on effect. And I also knew that anybody that did it would be chastised. So when he did it, I thought, oh, why'd you do it? Not because I took offense to the video, but because I felt like he's now going to get clowned. And I didn't want him to get clowned because I like the guy. And I don't feel like what he gained from doing the video is going to, like those few laughs that he got, is going to even out with the backlash. So you see what I'm saying? There's a few things working there.
Yeah.
But in reality, I didn't look at the video and go, oh, my God, how could he have done that? Get that guy on the phone. I'm going to cuss him out. No, that's how Travis Brown felt. He's protecting his lady. I just looked at it and kind of laughed and said, hey, yeah, it is pretty funny. Put effort into it. He did what he did. But, yeah, I started thinking, poor old girl over there, what's going to happen? Why did he do it? He's going to get a backlash. I guess I'm just trying to, like, protect these young kids.
Yeah, I want to add one more thing. And I know a lot of people aren't going to give this a pass. But you have to remember that's another culture over there. They view things differently.
Yeah.
You can go not too far. Mexico's not that far from here. It's different over there. It's a different culture. Over here, it's different as well.
It has become more PC. I hear exactly what Jack is saying. It shouldn't be like that. But unfortunately, it is. And so when you call this show and go, hey, man, what do you think? Well, these are two guys that work for USA Today Sports. So we also have to watch ourselves, to be honest, and handle the call, we got to put on our gloves and handle the call in a certain way. Letting you know we still got some flavor. We were kind of laughing, but keep it quiet, But at the same time, also thinking, in what direction do we want the show to be? Because when we do try and be edgy, when the calls start to get out of hand, and athletes are getting lambasted on the show, what we've noticed is it's not good for the show. Yeah, a few people out there have their laughs or whatever, but in the end, you have to balance that, man. It's just a balancing act is what it is. But in no way do we want you to think that we don't like to have fun either. One more call, and then we got to take this break. One more call because he's been waiting. Marco from Waco. What's up, Marco? How you doing?
Marco from Waco, Roy. ¿Qué pasa, Atos?
¿Qué pasa?
Slow week on MMA, but I want to deep in on this Michael Venom Pes thing. I don't know if like the joke was okay, but why do you have to do it? I mean, the fact of the matter is that we know who Michael Venom Pes is. Nobody else does, man. I mean, unless you watch a Bellator all the time, and he got like 25,000 views out of that. Ronda Rousey alone got 3.5 million people on her Twitter. How would he feel if 3.5 million people were clowning him? God forbid he gets knocked out like horribly in his next fight. I mean, that is just a bad look, man. Dancing on somebody's grave is always a bad look. The same with Chris Cyborg. I mean, Chris Cyborg is in jail for PEDs right now, and she started talking shit on Ronda. Chris needs to kick her mouth shut too, until all her problems go away. Don't talk about other people. Worry about your own problems. We'll let you guys catch next week.
Later, Marco. Hey, summed it up nicely.
Yeah.
All right. You are listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll keep blasting through calls. Remember, this first hour is wide open, so get in the queue at 866-522-2846. Not only the end of this first hour, the first part of the second hour is wide open. Our two guests today will be Justin Ledet and Todd Duffee, two UFC heavyweights, back-to-back. So make this strong. Come strong, Junkie Nation. You heard Marco. You heard Jack from Seattle. Join the queue. One last time, 866-522-2846. We will be right back after this break. Ain't that right, Chris? Gus, what's happening here?
I don't know. Chris,
All right,
you there?
Chris, you there?
All right.
Chris, you there?
Yes.
boss to reschedule that meeting. Call your wife and tell her lunch is off. It's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes.
Let's blast through some calls right now because we were so late in getting this first commercial out of the way that we're gonna have to get another one in before the show's over, or before the first hour is over. So let's get to it. Scott from Utah is up first. What's up, Scott? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Doing good. How about you?
Hey, I want to give you some input on your in-studio guests. I just want to vote. I like those. I think it adds to the show quite a bit. But the only person I really didn't dig recently, and I might get some shit from it, was that Baroni, man. He kept on interrupting you guys and shit. It was kind of frustrating.
There's no other way to describe it other than that's just Baroni.
Right.
But what he does do, is he kind of wakes us up and keeps us on our toes. Because I like arguing back and forth with him.
Stirs the pot.
Yeah, it stirs the pot a little bit, and I like pissing him off. So, yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is even if there is one that you don't jive with, just remember, I mean, it's 5 days a week.
I was trying to make the best of it as well in that I disagreed with a few of the things he was saying. But as I was disagreeing, he kept making other points that I disagreed with, and I thought, holy shit, if I hit him back with my points, we're going to get to no calls. Yeah. We're going to cover no news. So I just kind of smiled and said, very well, let's move on, you know. But I knew that if there's a time, if there was a lull in the calls or whatever else, I was going to revisit some topics. But, yeah, I mean, you know, it was back and forth. But, yeah, I actually, like Goes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed tussling. And
he's also not always like that. That was like I stayed out all night.
That was a different Brony.
So, yeah.
Well, he had just, I think he said he had 10K in chips because he had just done the boxing at Mayweather's. Then he went over across the street and
Phil's a character.
Played some blackjack. Yeah.
All right. And the thing on Rousey is, I think the reason why she's getting that kind of heat from fans is that's who she is. She's kind of a bitch, you know. I think if Holly Holm would have been knocked out like that, I don't think she would have got that kind of reaction Rousey got, right?
No, she definitely wouldn't have, and
Exactly.
that plays a lot into it. You know, people just point back to some of the things that Ronda's done that people didn't like, and so it's just like life, man. Anytime somebody acts a certain way, they can't wait to rub it in their face. I mean, Ronda's not the first person that's ever had to go through this.
The handshake, this
even me.
Remember this?
Like, shit, do we talk? Us comes back on us. We're not going to go, hey, now America. That's what I'm.
Barber.
I was thinking Chicago. What's up, pal?
You guys, I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to say, last Saturday, UFC 207, one of the greatest things I've ever seen in MMA. This is why I love the sport. It's the story. It's what makes combat sports the most compelling. You got Nunez coming from a favela. Right there, the odds are against you of doing something great, right?
Yeah.
Mix in there, you're a woman and you're a lesbian. So that was inspiring, truly inspiring to see that. Everybody was on Ronda, but I couldn't believe what that young lady did. And the same with Garbrandt, man. Street kid, clawed his way, went to California, took off his shirt, started doing push-ups, and he's a champ. Unbelievable. You know, it's one of the greatest co-main and main events I've ever seen. So I just want to say that.
And you know what? It was on the heels of what was a really slow card, the way it progressed. As I was watching Twitter, nobody was wowing, nobody was retweeting. I didn't see exclamation points. I didn't see GIFs, memes, anything. It was almost like we were all just kind of going, okay, what's the next one? Who's the next one? Oh, yeah, cool, yeah. You doing good? You're probably alive? Yeah. I don't know. And then all of a sudden we get to Cody Garbrandt and Dominic Cruz, and then the tension rose, and they obviously, Garbrandt put on a show, and then the last one was like amazing too.
The sport really needs that right now. They need new superstars, new heroes. But look at us. It's like, this is Friday. We're still talking.
The epitome, like a big slap in the face from hardcore fans to the media hype machine. Beautiful, man. Talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend. GG. Nice one, baby.
All right, you got it.
Keep it up.
Next up, Aaron from Texas. What's up, Aaron?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. It's snowed a little bit here where I'm working today, so it's not too terrible. But, you know, it's not Northeast snow or Midwest snow. It's Texas snow, which is worse because people in Texas don't know how to freaking drive in the snow. So this might be my last time calling in ever if I don't make it home.
Oh, wow. Okay. Might be our lucky day.
It's not. Yeah, it is clearly. No, it's not bad. It's just like I said, people don't know how to drive, man. There's morons when it comes to snow around here. So you brought up a really good point, Gigi, about the fact that fight between Cruz and Garbrandt really sped the card up because those first 3 fights they kind of drug a little bit, you know. And it was my first time watching the UFC fight with my girlfriend. Yes, girlfriend plug right there. You know, and she wanted to watch because of the Rousey fight, and just those first 3 fights, man, they were good, but they weren't. You know, they weren't spectacular, and that 4th fight really drug it out of her. And she became a fan of Cody the entire fight because of the way he was just smack talking them the entire time. So I'm all for that, man. You know, we needed that shot in the arm of that card. You know, on that 4th fight, and they really did a good job of it. And the prelims too, man. I mean, you know, the controversy in the first spot, and you know, the rest of them, you know, they were good. They weren't outstanding. So you know, the card really needed a fight like that. And but in fact, like I said, we're still talking about it 4 days later. It's a testament to how good it was. And I think the Cerrone fight and the Masvidal fight is in Denver next week, or it's in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. It is. UFC on Fox 23. It is on January 28th, so we're about 22 days away, and they are the co-main event in that fight.
Oh.
Off the air, guys, and yeah, this is one last thing about my girlfriend, but this is actually legitimate. I told her what I wanted for Christmas, and she got me Stitch Duran's new book, From the Fields to the Garden, #2. She got me that book, which that would have been good in itself. But then she conspired with Carla Duran, and had Stitch personally sign it for me inside the book, and Carla videotaped it, and they sent that all things to me. So my girlfriend just won the entire world right there, man. She got the book I wanted, signed by Stitch, and got Carla to conspire against me. I think she's a junkie now.
Well, that's legit, for one. You know how much we love Stitch. You're really, really going to enjoy the book, so I'm glad that happened. All right, congrats also. I think you're going to be debuting as a referee pretty soon, so congrats on that. We got to go, but thanks for calling in. Sorry we couldn't get you in yesterday, buddy. Let's take this last break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. When we come back, we'll still take a few more calls and then set things up for the second hour because the first 30 minutes are wide open. 866-522-2846. Your chance to get in the queue right now.
get paid to say things in this cool voice, and they get paid to be lame. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
I'm not sure he got it in, so I want to give a shout out to Aaron's girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend?
Was he able to get that in his call?
I didn't even know he was dating anyone.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is, and she is wonderful, so shout out to her, Aaron from Texas. Let's talk to Dean from Georgia. He's been waiting. What's up, Dean? How you doing?
Gentlemen, what's going on? So I'm getting pretty excited, It's the new year. You got Sam All Jam doing his countdown. He private messaged me, said, hey, I got my new AARP card. I'm ready to roll at the gathering. I'm excited.
All right. So Sam's, we got to do it's coming up, by the way. The College Football Letter of Intent Day. So unofficially, you all know that the Junkie Gathering is May 23rd through the 27th. You can come a few days before. You can stay a few days after, but those are kind of like the bulk days, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We skipped it last year, so we're anxious to get into it this year, and a lot of you have already started doing your preparations, but if this is the first time you're hearing about it, then there you go. Those are the dates. But to kind of make it more formal, we will have Letter of Intent Day, and it'll match the day that high school football seniors commit to the colleges of their choice. It's usually like the first Tuesday or Wednesday in February, so it's coming up. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll kind of dedicate ourselves to that. Maybe by then, Goes will have some more activities already planned out. But here you go, a 1 month head start. Start saving your money. Start making your reservations, because obviously the sooner the better when it comes to flights, when it comes to hotel. And, we're here at the Mandalay Bay. We got the Mandalay Bay Tower, and then attached to this hotel is Luxor and Excalibur, and it all represents kind of, different tiers of what you may want to pay in a hotel. So anyway, continue on, Dean.
Yeah, you're speaking of Goes in events. He's going to have to do a lot of new events this year. Since the last gathering, there's been a lot of new baby daddies and baby mamas. You might need a little kids playground area or something like that, because there's quite a few.
What you guys don't know is not only is this one pretty planned out, but the next one's planned out.
The next Junkie Gathering?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I got a good idea.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So
all right.
And that will be unveiled at the next Junkie Gathering.
Okay.
I got a question, Eugene Goes. So, Dana White was, after the Cyborg incident, that's pretty much why he was going to create the featherweight division. They had the one fight, but I noticed that on Junkie, Invictor's now having this interim featherweight championship. Would you think that that's kind of almost like the number one contender bout for the upcoming whoever wins between?
That could be reached out and said, hey, I'll do it. So I would think the UFC probably has their division consists of the two that are fighting, and then maybe 5 to 7 unofficial, I'll do it if you need me. And then we're going to continue with 35. Let's keep Invicta doing their thing, polishing up. There's just not enough of them in the world for Bellator, for UFC. I think even if you gather them all, let's put them all in one tournament from all over the world. I still don't know that you could have it. I just don't know that'd be quality. Thank you, Dean. We have 90 seconds left, so we'll just start off. Josh from Canada, you got to get it done, man. What's up? You got about 60 seconds.
Was the media, like the reporter, whatever. My personal favorites, I really like Rob Cardenas. Been a minute since we've had Rob in. He's always a great outlook on some of those more intricate topics. Yeah, keep those coming, and I won't take much of your time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for chiming in, Josh. Sorry to rush you off, but we appreciate it as well. Text with him. Actually, once we got in the break, it got lost, but I have it saved, and he was more than excited to do it. At the time, perspective on that. Also, discovery phase had come out in that class action lawsuit, so
I get paid to say things in this cool voice, and they get paid to be lame. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Damn. I got through about 5.5 minutes of the countdown with Michael Bisping and Luis J. Gomez. Thursdays on SiriusXM Rush 93. I was on the SoundCloud page. And Woodley and Bisping were having a verbal tussle. It was fun, but there was still 3 minutes left. It looked like they had kind of put it to rest, and then all of a sudden things were starting to be talked about again. I guess Woodley tried out for Tough. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he tried out for Tough. Anyway, joining us now, speaking of, is UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley. What's up, Tyron? Good to see you, man. Good to talk to you.
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good. You're on the East Coast, right? You're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida right now.
Nice. All right. Back with your buddies at American Top Team.
Yeah, I'm at ATT right now. Did you hear the toilet flush?
Oh, yeah. I thought I heard something. You need more time? You need to wipe or what?
I was trying to sneak it past you with mute. I was taking the Browns to the Super Bowl right quick.
You need more time to wipe, or you good?
I was set. I'm good.
All right. Are you a bidet fan, by the way?
Am I who?
Are you a bidet fan?
Oh my God. I kind of feel a little suspect if I use that. I think it's a great option, but I try to stay away from it just because if anything going that direction, I don't feel comfortable with.
When we were in Japan, we had to call some fights. Goz and I were there for like 2-3 days. They had it in the hotel, and I thought, okay, I'm not opposed to this, but I hear what Tyron's saying too.
That's a little strong though in Japan.
Some weird sensations going on. Yeah,
I was like the
kid.
He
said it was a little strong.
It was strong, man.
That pressure comes in pretty hard.
And it was heated. I don't know about that.
That's gross. Whoever said that was the pressure strong.
How come I haven't heard any water running in a soap dispenser or anything like that?
Because I press mute, man. I ain't gonna get nasty, so wet, and I wash my hands.
Did you just put Tyron in the fist bump category?
Yeah, I may just have to give him a head nod. No more shaking hands. Or something.
I wash my hands.
All right.
I wash my hands. I just put you guys.
All right. Well, listen, man. Thanks for talking to us. You know, we've been wanting to catch up with you on a few different things, just because your career kind of goes in different directions according to the news that pops. You know, obviously, I know there's Woodley and Thompson rematch talk, and then I know that you're obviously always pushing for the big money fights like Nick Diaz. I think some of that talk resurfaced, and then the latest now is Bisping talk. So, Tyron, catch us up right now. If you had your choice, what's your number one fight? Go 1, 2, 3 maybe for us.
Okay. The fights that I would think that would be most favorable on my behalf that I would, have the advantage in, number one would be Bisping, which has surprised me why he would even want to fight me. Number two would be Damian Maia, which the fans don't understand the matchup. If you watch me fight Andre Galvao, who is one of his Altos teammates, if you watch me fight this world-class jiu-jitsu if he can't get me down. So those are he's the greatest welterweight that's ever done it. You have to fight him. The fight that I can make the most money in, and also it can also punch a notch in my belt for my legacy, is Conor McGregor. So they're different categories. I don't know if I can put them in even 1, 2, 3. But if you notice that Wonder Boy is arguing for a rematch because people weren't 100% decisive on whether or not I either won or was a draw. Not whether or not he won. There's never been a question whether or not he won. The only question is, was it a draw or did I win? So with those details, how the hell do you feel obligated and entitled to a rematch? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying he's not going to get a rematch. What I'm saying is that I don't feel like, okay, man, you know what? He right, man, I got to give him this rematch. If I really felt that way and I wanted to go purely on that, then maybe it's Damian Maia, but it's not my job to market these guys and promote these guys. I have a hard enough time promoting myself. So why am I going to sit out enough to get in there with me and put your belt on the line? Bro, let's do it. So Danny didn't really say no, but he kind of was like, "Oh, hold on, that might be a little deal." So when he gets back, I'm gonna reach out to him and see what he deserves the title. I sat around and waited to promote you or to give you something that you feel like you deserve. Like they can miss me with that, man.
Right. Okay. Well, What I wanted to know though was, as far as the Wonder Boy matchup, has Dana updated you on how he feels about that? That's the one I meant. Where that night in New York, he wanted to run the rematch, but now okay.
That's not off the table, no. And right now, and that's why I put that poll out for you guys that are listeners. Make sure you check out, YouTube channel. I did a catch-up. Basically, tell you who I'm fighting. I put a poll out on Twitter for all you guys. It's a real close match between Conor McGregor and Wonder Boy. For people, what they think I should fight next is only 2% difference. So I'm gonna leave it up for another 12 hours. So if you guys are Conor fans, if you guys are Wonder Boy fans or my fans, make sure you get on that poll and vote, and then I'll let you guys know who I'll be fighting. But I should know in the next 1 or 2 weeks who I'll fight.
Okay, yeah, all right, cool. That was my next thing. A few of the listeners of our show are listeners of the Morning Wood with These Nuts, and they were saying the same thing, that you were implying that you may already know, but you're telling us you still don't know who your next matchup is.
I was getting close, and I thought it was narrowed down, but then Bisbee threw a curve in the situation because it was down to a couple guys, Wonder Boy, Nick Diaz, and the Conor McGregor thing was kind of twinkling, but he's went mute. He had all this stuff to say behind the stage, and now it's a chance where we can actually fight. I haven't heard a word from Conor McGregor, so I think it was down to those few guys. And the sad part of it, Damian Maia wasn't even mentioned. He wasn't even offered as an opponent. So, I mean, that's sad for the sport. So fans don't blame me. Don't say I'm running for the guy. Actually, he's a tough fighter, world class. But style matchups-wise, he's one of the more favorable opponents where I match up a little bit better against. So it's not a fight that I'm running from. So when Bisbee kicked in, man, he actually added another fight. So now I'm like, man, it's the first time in my life I've been in this situation. And it was always this guy, and that's it. But now it's like, damn, I can fight Wonder Boy, I can fight Bisbee, I can fight, a few other wild cards.
Right. and I'm glad that you finally decided that at 185 makes more sense than 180, because might as well go for 2 belts if you're going to do this and fight the bigger man.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what he meant. I had to go back and listen to the video myself. I thought he was saying no belts on the line. But what he was actually saying was, if we fight at 180, then there's no belts on the line.
Right.
So I didn't think he would be willing to fight me and put his belt on the line. And if he is, man, dude, that's a risky move. His next fight is going to be a risky move anyway. If you fight Yoel or Weidman or Rockhold or Jacare, all those guys, man, people may argue that Bisbee probably was a fighter of the year in 2016 just by avenging 2 losses, one by knockout and also beating Anderson Silva. But man, he got his hands still with those 5 guys.
It's interesting how Tyron has kind of carved out a few different possibilities. There's buzz, there's momentum. Now it's almost like there's 3 great opportunities in 2017 to make some money and just kind of add to or start the legacy, because that's what a world champion does, is he wins the title and then he starts building off that, the legacy. Go ahead, Goes. What you got?
Tyron, I know that the Fox people, they can't tell you what to do or anything like that, but have they kind of talked to you at all and said what this would mean for them? Is that something they like? Because you're both analysts on the Fox desk. Is that something that they go, hey, this sounds like a good idea? Or they're like, I don't know if we want you guys doing this. Have they voiced their opinion at all?
Me and Bisbee are some of their favorite analysts. So they're like, no, we don't want to see you guys fight. And we calm down. We're professionals. We're not these guys that have to hate each other and have some crazy vendetta to get it on. I can say what I feel. He's going to probably talk trash, try to get underneath my skin. I'm probably just going to be honest. I'm better than you. I look better than you. I punch harder than you. I'm faster than you. I'm a better wrestler than you. I'm a better boxer than you. I'm a better grappler than you. I'm stronger than you. You only outweigh me by 5 pounds. I'm about to beat your butt. So I think those are true facts and statements. So I'm going to just say that. And it might come off as trash talk, but either way it goes, it's going to be a big fight. It's going to sell a lot of pay-per-views, and I will be excited about it. And I'm going to fight all of these guys. So for you fans, you're dunking this. I'm going to fight Wonder Boy. I'm going to fight Damian Maia. I'm probably going to fight Conor. I'm going to fight Nick. I'm probably going to fight Nate. I'm probably going to fight George. I'm probably going to fight Michael Bisping. I might even rematch Robbie Lawler. All these fights are important to me in my career. It's just when I take these fights at what time. It has to make sense for me on when I take these fights. So I will fight all of these guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to avoid any of these fights. But it might make sense for me to fight Bisping before I fight Wonderboy. It might make sense for me to fight Nick Diaz in 209 before I fight Damian Maia. It's just a scheduling and a timing thing.
So you mentioned it. You're both professionals. Win, lose, or draw, you feel like the following week, the following month, when you guys are on a panel, no problems. You guys can just continue to do your job. I know you feel like that for yourself. Do you feel like that for Michael Bisping as well?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he ain't going to like it, but it makes for good TV. I got thick skin. I know how the game works. I told him, man, I'll kick your butt on a Saturday, and we can co-host UFC Tonight on Wednesday. You know, I really think that's possible. Even when we were on the show for the first time together, we were talking about fighting each other on the show. He was talking about how small I was, and I was talking about how I would kick his butt. So, I mean, it's a sport where we talk all this crap. We get in each other's face. We cut each other. We throw bottles at the press conference, and then we hug after the fight. So, I mean, if we already know that's the kind of era we're in, like, let's get it on, man. I'm a professional. We're going to fight somebody. We're going to fight somebody tough, somebody good. And if we know that we both can push the needle together, I mean, separately, it's going to be tough for us. It's easier for Bisping to push the needle by himself. It's going to be tougher for me. But collectively, I think we can do 700,000 to 900,000 buys.
Wow. Now, I know you just had a training session. When you're doing your training session, is there a particular guy that, even in these training sessions where you don't have an opponent, that you're kind of working on some techniques that may help you for that particular fight?
You know, I've always envisioned being a champion of the world. And I was not always the guy with the dot on me. I was always the guy hunting the guy on the throne. So, therefore, I've already mapped out and visualized and game plan from Damian Maia and also Stevie Wonderboy and also Robbie Lawler and also, you know, these other guys. And Bisping is just a guy I looked at, I'm like, damn, man, even at the heavier weight, I've always felt like that, you know, he's not an easy matchup, but I'm like, man, I think I can do really well against him just because of, you know, styles make fights. Been prepared for. If I'm scheduled to fight Wonderboy, fight them all. Fight me.
Fired up right now.
Yeah.
That Tyron said, "Don't worry, I'm going to get to all of them." He just named off like 8 great fights. So it tells me he's in this. His body's holding up.
I won't retire before trying to get to all of those guys, man. That's important to me. Like if I got paid the same, if I got paid $100,000 to fight every one of them, I would take them off one by one because it's important. Because right now, if I start mentioning the names, right, I'm gonna start mentioning some names: Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condon, George St. Pierre, Nick Diaz, Stephen Thompson. You see how that sounds weird? They don't really. That's like when you're doing that little word problem in kindergarten. They said, "What doesn't match?" Mm-hmm. You're gonna take Wonderboy out of that because he don't right now because he hasn't done what those guys have done. It doesn't match. If you put my name in there, my name currently doesn't match. So if I've already beat Carlos, Robbie. I would say I beat freaking Wonderboy. If you start adding 1 or 2 more names, now if you say those names, George St. Pierre, Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Tyron Woodley, it's going to flow a little bit smoothly. That's my goal. That's how you know when you're on track to be a Hall of Famer and you're on track to be a legend in the sport. And you got to have at least one nemesis, one rivalry, one bitter bout. You got to have at least one rematch. You got to have at least one fight where, you know, it's a great style matchup and, you know, fight of the night. And that's how you become a legend. If you can get one of those 3, you fill all those categories, it's very tough for me to think you're not going to be a legend.
And the question is, in what order do you take them? For so that you maximize your potential, you know, financially. And then the other thing I was thinking about, here's the only negative, is a few of those names, I feel like whether it's age or wear and tear, they're starting to close the end of their career. So it's almost like you're really going to have a busy 2017, 2018 to get to a few of those. You know what I mean? Because Maia, I think, is 38. Bisping has talked about retiring, you know, in the past. Conor, you just never know if all the money he makes, he could just bounce at any time. Thompson's got a little bit of more youth to him than some of the other guys. So does Diaz, but Diaz has what we call wear and tear, and he's so selective. And then there's times where he's like, I hate fighting. I don't know. So, yeah, you're just going to have to be real careful with these decisions, Tyron, that's for sure. And hopefully you've mapped it out, you know, the way you want it, because it's always best to map out how you want and then hope it's what the division wants, the promotion wants. And
that makes sense. If you guys remember, the first 2 guys I spoke about was George and Diaz. Those guys, in my opinion, George is the best welterweight that's ever done it. I would like to be the best welterweight that's ever done it. So me doing these fights in a specific order is going to help me achieve that goal. Nick Diaz, is forever a top 5 welterweight in my opinion overall. And I think beating those two guys, that's why I brought those guys up first. Wonderboy ain't going nowhere. I mean, he's my age, but he's young to the sport of MMA. He'll be there. You know what I mean? Nobody's in a rush to get to that fight. If I know that those other fights are on the horizon, I would like to knock those fights out first. I'm confident I'm going to win them all. So therefore, I'm not looking past any opponent. But yeah, I do want to get a chance to fight all these guys because at the end of the day, for me, it's about legacy. Yeah, do I want to make money? Of course. But is it all about money? No. If I can fight George and have legacy and money, that's a two for one special. I'll be stupid not to try to capitalize on that.
So true. Hey, have you seen Robbie Lawler while you've been out there at American Top Team, and what's that interaction like?
I just got here. I just got here last night. I saw Hector. I saw some of the other welterweights. Saw Chikao. I haven't seen Robbie. Saw all the coaches. So yeah, it was good. It's good to get back home. I haven't done the camper in a while. They made it very clear that they think it's important that I spend some more time down here, and that's a fair statement.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I sort of agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you are an owner of an affiliate, and I think a lot of people respect the presence of a world champion anyway. So I'm sure that's twofold for them. Go ahead, Goes.
Tyron, I know
I'm one of the OGs, and I started with the team only 3 years after they started ATT.
Tyron, we've talked to you for a long time, and the one thing that kind of stands out for me is you haven't really changed. You're kind of the same guy that you were back then, and that guy is a model citizen in the UFC, but even outside the UFC. And is
he still there?
He dropped. I'm going to get him.
Oh, okay.
That was a long-ass question, too.
Yeah, you got to say it again, and you know what? You got to say it again. He's got to answer it again because we got to take our big 5 coming up here soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so how do you feel? How do you want it to shape out? Goes the fan. How do you want it? Yeah.
Well, after this interview, I want Bisping.
Okay.
But money-wise, obviously Connor.
Uh-huh. But you don't get any of the money. That's what I'm saying. As a fan.
The purist,
okay.
I guess Maya, right?
Purist, uh-huh.
All
right, so the purist, Maya first?
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's what you believe is best in the health of the 100.
If we're going to have rankings and all that, then that's probably what makes the most sense.
Okay.
But as a guy that's just going to grab some chips and a beer, and now I want to see Bisping.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, Chris, can we get a commercial out of the way, and we'll see if we can track them down? And
I was just about to suggest that.
Let's do that. Let's get it going. We'll get the commercial going, and if we can track him down, we'll finish up. And if not, obviously, we're gracious of his time as it is. I know he was out there at the gym itself, so I don't know if he had just begun his training, ended his training. I don't know where he's at. All right, so let's take this break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. See you in a couple.
They were kicked off the set of The Fast and the Furious for being too loud and too good-looking. Once again, here's Gorgeous George and Goes.
We're just going to jump right to it. We're still joined by the UFC welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley, and I'll let Goes handle it from here because I think you were in the middle of a question. What's up, champ?
What's up, brother?
So what I was asking you was if it's difficult still being you, because you've been able to give us a lot of time. You give other shows time. The Boys and Girls Club, we saw what you did out here in Vegas with Forrest Griffin, Ariane Celeste, Demetrius Johnson. You're still the same guy that you were 10 years ago. Has it been difficult now that you're being pulled in different directions like this?
Yeah, it's been very difficult, but you got to give your day ones love. Sometimes people cover you when you're that young up-and-coming guy or strike force challengers, and you can't get too high-minded that you forget about that. So you guys have been awesome for me, good or bad. You know, I appreciate honest, unbiased opinion. If I get knocked out, I got knocked out. If I lose, I lose. If I sneak it up one night, that is what it is. So I respect people that give, unbiased, honest news. And also, that's a piece of me. I did think about going to Conor McGregor route. I could do that very easily, make this character and make a lot of money and, kick up some dust. But I've been the same person my entire career. It would kind of be a sad moment for me if I really had to, step over and be someone that I'm really not. So I just chose not to do that. I chose to be myself at a louder volume. I'm not saying anything different. I'm just more vocal. I got more channels to get it out. Whether it's through our podcast, The Morning Wood Show, whether it's through the Champ Life or Champ Camp, whether it's through, doing media with you guys, I just have chosen to be a little bit more louder with my views and my points. But if you watch my, I got a series coming out in the next day or two of Champ Life, and you'll see me at a boys' town in Vegas, but you'll also see me hanging out with Ludacris and DJ. You'll see me training. I just want to let you know that it's different facet of a person. Some of it is giving back. Some of it is training. Some of it is being human and having fun. Some of it is causing a little controversy. And everything is not fighting. Everything is not training. Everything is not entertainment. It's a little bit of everything. And I think fans can appreciate that. And once they get to know you for who you are, they're more likely to be ride or die and hang in there with you.
On what future show of the Champ Camp will it show you walking into the MMA Junkie studio belt and showing us, or studio and showing us your shiny new belt?
That would have to be episode 3, because when I fight in Las Vegas, March 4th, UFC 209, I'm pretty sure they're going to have me do some PR in Las Vegas, and I'm going to have to make the MMA Junkie booth at the Mandalay by the 4th keep. I'm going to have to make that one of the stops.
So you are, so although we don't know the opponent, we do know that you're fighting on March 4th. Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, I will be fighting March 4th, UFC 209, Las Vegas.
Damn, and you think in about a week or two we'll know the news, huh?
Maybe they need to announce it, try to promote it. No.
And I was saying you have stayed grounded. I will give you that. Known you for a long time, and I like that you have kept it real. So good on you for that.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And you guys have kept it real too. You could have got high society on me as well. Like, we can't squeeze you in today. We book 1 month out.
Man, that ain't the case. A UFC champion, anytime, brother.
It's tough to book a podcast, right?
It's tough to book a show, man. It is. I got to give Goes the credit, though. He's the one that stayed on you, and he landed it. So thank you very much for your time, man. We appreciate it as always.
No worries, man. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we'll see you. That's Tyron Woodley, folks.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he was ready to kill me last night.
Was he?
Yeah. But he's so nice that he'll never tell you that. But.
All right, so we know he's fighting in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know the opponent.
Take a guess. There's 4 people. He gave you 4. One of them I think we can just throw out. It's not going to be Bisping.
I don't think it'll be Bisping, because I think Bisping and Romero is going to happen, right? As long as they're healthy, which I'm just going to assume everyone's healthy. I don't think it's Diaz because I just don't think the UFC would push someone who hasn't been a contender, to fight the world champ. Again, he did it. They did it once, coming off the loss to Condit versus GSP. I just don't think they'd do it again. I don't think it's GSP because I haven't even heard like GSP's in. He could remember he thought about it and said, "Well, the baby's not due till May." Tom
They were forged from the same ball sack, but act as though they've never met. They are the brothers Garcia, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Our next guest is Justin Ledet, El Blanco. El Blanco's 8-0 with 2 KOs and 5 submissions. Only one time have the judges needed to tell us who won the fight when it involved Justin Ledet. He's fighting Demetrius Sosnovsky on February 4th. That's that Super Bowl card goes. So, Super Bowl Saturday. It used to be a pay-per-view. It's a fight night this time, Fight Night 104. Justin will be fighting another undefeated heavyweight. So Sosnovsky is 10-0. Justin is 8-0. The main event that night, if you're curious, it's Dennis Bermudez versus Chan Sung-jung, a.k.a. the Korean Zombie, the fella that was gone for 2 years because of the military service that he had to do, the mandatory 2 years in South Korea. So there you go. It's a good card. Alexa Grasso will be mixing it up with Felice Herrig, Evan Dunham, and Abel Trujillo, Vincent Prue, and Jan Blachowicz. So lots of talent on this card. You got to catch it if you're out there in Houston for Super Bowl weekend. The next day is Super Bowl, obviously, in that same town. Back to Justin Ledet joining us now on the hotline. What's up, Justin? ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, how's it going?
El Blanco, ¿cómo estás? You hang out with a lot of Latino homies growing up or what?
Yeah, of course, man, of course.
Yeah, I know how each town rolls. All right. That's probably what I would have called you if you grew up in our hood, too. Hey, let's just call him El Blanco or Wedo. Or did you have any other ones, or was it just that guy? Gabacho?
Calling him that while he was taking your...
What's up, Casper?
That's how the nickname came about.
I can dig it. What got you into MMA other than just, he's huge, he could probably kill people?
Actually, man, I thought I was a punk, man. I grew up playing basketball. I actually played college basketball and went to Texas A&M at Kingsville, and things didn't work out there. So my cousin, he had been wanting to fight for years, man. He's and come check out this MMA gym, blah, blah, blah. And I was like 30 pounds overweight. So I was like, man, I need something to get back in shape and take the place of basketball. Came into a gym one day, started doing jiu-jitsu and boxing, and the rest is history, man. Just fell in love with it.
Your frame could get down. Get the strength and condition, you could be a massive heavyweight as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I started my career off, was at 205. But over the years, just my body's grown. I'm 28 now, getting a little bit older, and just don't really want to go through that weight cut process right now, and just feel good just training and being a heavyweight right now. So I don't have any complaints about that. Get to eat what I want to and everything.
Plus, who can argue, right? You're 8-0. You're doing something right.
Exactly.
Smashing fools, too. 7 finishes out of 8, so he's headed for that 90 percentile finishing rate that's very coveted for mixed martial artists. They want to be in the 80 to 90%, and he's there. He meets Demetrius Sosnovsky at UFC 104. It's coming up on February 4th. Justin Ledet on the line. Goes, what you got?
Justin, was college basketball, was that the closest you came to taking your path somewhere else other than mixed martial arts, or was there anything else that could have drawn you away from what you ended up doing?
And definitely in the future, want to maybe even continue my boxing career or do both or whatever. You never know what the future holds. But for sure, other than a combat sports, definitely basketball, man. I started playing basketball when I was about 11, and just that's, as I was growing up, man, that's all everybody knew me as doing, just playing basketball. So it was weird, especially when everybody heard that I started fighting.
You still keep up with basketball?
Oh, man, it's crazy. Ever since I started fighting, man, I don't keep up with any sports except for combat sports, man. It's crazy. I'll watch boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, events all day on TV. But when it comes to, like, football, NFL, NBA, I can't stand it anymore for some reason. It's crazy.
Did you have a nickname, like Smooth or Silk or Swish, or what was your nickname on the basketball court?
Nah, no nickname.
They used to call me ATM, but that's not a good thing to say nowadays. But actually, you know why? Because I was money in the bank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, except ATM means something else
that's
now.
That's a good one
in the porn industry. So that's why I got away from that one. All right, sorry guys, the hijacking here.
What?
Yeah, in porn now, all of a sudden they went from just vagina sex to butt sex, so it's ass to mouth is what ATM means. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm no longer ATM.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be that in basketball.
Justin, This is going to be your third time that we get to see you in the UFC, but the hardcores have known you, from your earlier days. How do you feel when you're going to be in that dressing room? Do you feel like maybe you've earned that veteran status, or do you still feel like the young up-and-coming guy in that locker room?
Oh man, that's a crazy question, man. No one's asked me that before. I don't, man. It's weird, man. I definitely wouldn't classify myself as a vet, but I really wouldn't classify myself as a newcomer either. Really, man, we just been taking these fights and kind of like this past 2016 year for me has just been wild. We just kind of been taking it as it comes. So, like when I'm in that locker room, it's kind of like the same mindset, man. We're just in there and we're just kind of having fun, man. That's really been the setting for my year, man. Just been having fun and just taking what comes. So we're not really looking at a status of like vet or newcomer. We're just kind of trying to take it as it comes, man.
This next fight's key, though, and I'll tell you why. Because at USA Today Sports and MMA Junkie, we do rankings every week. We talk about them, right? And the last couple times we've been doing the heavyweights, I try and lead things off for all the people that chime in. And I've seen your name. It's popped up. The undefeated record always helps. 2-0 in the UFC means you're proving yourself at the high level. But the sport is all about win streaks and quality wins, so you're progressing. But I'm telling you, you're going to be ranked across the board, not just UFC, but everywhere. I think if you get this win over Sosnovsky and then you get that quality name and then, boom, get ready for like a Derek Lewis type of push, you know what I mean, where now all of a sudden they're going to give you the headline bout in your hometown or maybe somewhere else. You may have to cross the pond or something like that. But this next fight or the one after that will be key, especially if you get the finish and especially if you grab that mic out of John Anik or Joe Rogan's hands and mesmerize the crowd. So I wish you the best, Justin, with all this. I really think you could be a star in the making here in 2017.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I really didn't know what to think because they have been just feeding me just newcomers, like debuters and everything. So, man, really didn't know what kind of the UFC thought of me. But now, like I said, man, I'm just taking stuff as it comes. So whoever they want to feed me next, or however it goes, man, we're just rolling with the punches right now.
Yeah, it's a good opponent. They should really hype this fight out. Sosnovsky is also undefeated. He's 10-0, and he's finished 80% of his fights. 6 by KO, 2 for submission. So this is a great matchup of up and coming heavyweights. By that I mean, not past 30 years old, because this division kind of handles itself a little bit differently. You guys are still young pups, man, when you're in your late 20s.
Yeah, it's crazy how the heavyweight division is like that, man. A bunch of the top 10 guys are over 31, so definitely to be 26 and 27, 28 is definitely, like you said, young pups in the heavyweight division, whereas, in a lighter weight class, that might not be the case. But, it's all about, like you said, man, getting these win streaks together, man. And then, of course, like most of those guys that are in the top 10, they've been fighting for years, man. I mean, this is only my third fight in the UFC, so a long way to go with actually getting years under your belt of being in this organization and being on this stage and fighting these top ranked guys. So, man, I'm definitely looking forward to the future and definitely looking forward to this next fight, man. I'm excited for it.
It was really nice to meet you. Thanks for doing the MMA Junkie radio show. I hope you have a nice weekend. I hope you have a safe camp. And we'll be watching your fight, man, on February 4th. Can't wait for it.
Thanks, man. Take care.
All right, we'll see you. Folks, that's Justin Ledet. Give him a follow on Twitter at Justin Ledet MMA. Let him know you heard him on the at MMA Junkie radio show. It definitely helps. Those tweets, those retweets, those shares. We dig them, so thank you. All right, this last break is coming up now, and then after that, we'll finish up with UFC heavyweight Todd Duffee.
To link into the MMA Network, hit us up on twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous
Pulse Philly 209 in Las Vegas on March 4th. What's up, Duff man?
What's up, George? How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George and Goes. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you booked and ready to go in 2017.
About damn time, huh?
It is. You know, I can't believe that I looked and you were 31 years old. I still remember covering you in your early 20s. Man, time flies.
I'm an old man now, right? Did you guys see this shooting in Fort Lauderdale Airport?
Oh, no, really? No. What happened? Another one?
Another one, I guess. It's the first airport shooting I've heard of in recent. I don't know. I had a friend flying out this morning, and they just missed it. Apparently it was in the baggage claim, though. That's all I've really got going on right now.
Oh, wow, you're right.
And that used to be your neck of the woods. You used to live in South Florida for a few years, right?
Oh, yeah. It looks like there's 3 active shooters. That's what I'm seeing right now on the internet. That's what it's telling me. Sorry, I'm really excited about this, I guess.
This has got to stop.
Yeah, multiple people killed. Fort Lauderdale Airport gunman in custody. So if there's multiples, some are still loose, but multiple people are confirmed dead. We don't have any numbers. That's sad. That's so sad. Cannot believe it, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I kind of hope it's something cool, though. Like, I'm tired of the whole ISIS thing. Like, I want it to be, like, gang-related or mafia-related. I don't know. Something exciting for a change, at least.
At least where we rid ourselves of a bad person. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. All right. So Todd, but the one good thing about, okay, so you're 31. We can't reverse the clock, but even though you've had injuries, with the time that you haven't been fighting, you haven't developed what we call wear and tear. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, for sure. I have a young body. I feel like I have 5 or 6 more years of this athletic ability. Like, I don't feel any slower. I don't feel 31. I don't really think I even look 31. I looked in the mirror when I turned 31. I was like, damn, I kind of look young. Like, people still think I'm in my 20s. But, no, I don't feel like I have wear and tear. I feel pretty good. Like, most of my injuries were, like, the nerve thing was the only thing that would be considered kind of a wear and tear type injury. But, I feel really good. Like, I still feel like I have a 5 or 6 solid years left, easy.
I see it that way too. You had a win streak prior to your last fight. So in 2017, let's say you go 3-0 again, people can build off that. You'd have the 3-fight win streak, which in heavyweight is really tough to do. And you will have won 6 of your last 7.
The current 4-fight win streak, and he's defended the belt once. So he got the fight, he got the belt in 3 fights, and then defended it once. Yeah, it's super tough to do as well.
Yeah. Is that what you want to do? Fight 3 times in 2017?
Yeah, I'm pretty much set up for that. I can get this fight coming out up in March, and then I have a summer and fall winter kind of date going on, is what it looks like. So that's kind of an ideal situation. Get in, get busy, get paid. That's kind of the goal right now for sure. That's always the goal, is to fight consistently. It also depends on scheduling. Heavyweights are different because there's not as many.
Right.
And so, like, I'm sure it's a matchmaker's nightmare trying to keep these guys active and keep everybody matched up.
Yeah. No, I hear you there, man. Do you want to compete for a world title within 3 fights, or do you feel like you still need to get better and also build up your name to the new fans that have only seen you like twice since 2012?
I mean, I couldn't care. I think I'm ready to compete for a world title my next fight. So it's not even no, I mean, that's where the money's at. So you want to chase that money. I mean, that's what we're doing this for at the end of the day. All fights are tough once you're in the UFC. You're looking at the 30 best guys in the world in your weight division. Maybe, what do we have, 32 UFC heavyweights maybe?
Yeah.
So they're all tough. And it's all about matchups and timing and who's on that night. So if you can give me a title fight tomorrow, I'll probably take it.
I remember when you fought Hamilton. You hadn't fought in 2 years. All of a sudden, you starched him, and I think it was here at the Mandalay Bay, and everybody knew who Todd Duffee was. Something about the heavyweight division where all it takes is boom, one of those, and all of a sudden it's like, who's that? And everybody remembers, and they can't wait for the next matchup. So you're right, man. You do have you do have that type of possibility, with the way, especially with the way you finish fights when you're on that winning end.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it also feels like I have a huge fan base. Like, I don't know that I need to prove myself to build a following of any kind. I already have it. So as soon as they're ready to give it to me, I'll take it.
Todd, is there a comfort in fighting in Las Vegas? Is it kind of like a home away from home for you?
At this point, yeah, for sure. I noticed it the last 2 times. I was like, oh, yeah, I get to fight here. The last 2 times I fought there. I fought in Vegas probably more often than. That's nice. I have friends and family there. I prefer to fight in Vegas. No state tax. I think that's the real winner.
George mentioned, we have been covering you for a while, and one question I had for you was the UFC debut in 2009. What would you say is the biggest difference between yourself at that time and yourself today?
Biggest difference. Heck, I wish I had all kinds of differences that stuck out in my head, but I don't have very many. I think I'm more willing to show my skill set. I used to walk into fights very limited, whether by my coaches or by myself, or my game plan. I don't think I have that roadblock anymore. I think I'm ready to kind of take whatever problems I'm presented with and deal with them, as opposed to game plan myself to death or limit my skill set or limit my weapons. That's a pretty big difference.
I like the camp you're with. It seems like you've settled in. You're very comfortable. I saw you go to bat for Kane when he was having those problems. You said something along the lines of, if he ain't healthy, well, then none of us are healthy, because you're all pretty dinged up. You obviously went through him at his best in a camp as he was closing in on Fabricio Verdum. But more than anything, again, I like you being in there with having bodies like Cormier and Kane to work with, man. You're just definitely going to get better.
Yeah, there's no way around getting better. You have to if you want to survive in that room. And it's an exciting room. It's fun to be in. I have Coach Kieran now at CSA, who's been a huge help. I think he's the striking coach we've all kind of been waiting for me to get. He speaks to me in a very good way, and he's excited to help build me, and I'm excited for that myself. So that's been a huge blessing as of late.
I saw that. Kieran Fitzgibbons, yeah, he's a beast, man. He trains with Gaston Bolanos, Joe Schilling, a few other. I think Kevin Ross. Yeah, it is quite a team that they have there. Good stuff, man. You're making the best out of being a NorCaler.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, he's just a real coach. You don't really find that often in the sport of kickboxing or MMA. He's like, that's his gig, and he takes it very seriously, and he takes a coaching position. He's not a training partner. He's not a friend. He's a coach, and that's what he wants to do, and that's what he's good at. It's been an impressive experience for me thus far. I've been involved in the sport of MMA for at least 11, 12 years. And I'm excited, I think after 12 years, after you've kind of lived everywhere, seen everything there is to offer, it's hard to get excited about a guy. But I'm pretty excited about it.
Todd, I want to wish you a safe camp out there in Santa Cruz, San Jose, and where the CSA Dublin, I believe, is where they're located. So I want to wish you a safe camp, and we'll be seeing you in a couple months here at UFC 209, brother. Earlier, but
awesome. Have a good one.
Thank you, Todd. Take care. Nice weekend. All right, folks, we got to close out recapping. Laura Sanko, Felice Herrig, Henson Inoue, Brett Okamoto, Kevin Iole. It's going to be fun times here on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. So everybody, go out there, have a fun weekend, keep it locked on MMA Junkie, and don't forget to be champions.
But that train keeps